Okay. Good morning. So to start today's class, this is going to be a really stretchy class because I need to recover from driving for 36 hours. But we're going to start on our backs, and you've got two options. You can use 2 blocks for a heart opener or a rolled blanket. So if you've got a rolled blanket, you're just going to roll it and place the blanket down and lay with the blanket underneath your shoulder blades. But your shoulders are on the floor and you're just gonna lay with your arms in a cactus and just kind of find this passive back bend heart opener. So that's option number 1. If you've got blocks, you're gonna have one underneath your shoulder blades. So kind of think of the bottom edge of your block kind of right where your bra strap would be. And other block is a pillow underneath your head. And it can be at any height. So you can put it the highest height or the middle height. Those are my preferences. You may want to play with the lowest height, but that seems a lot to me. And then just arrange your legs in a way that feels like it's supportive for your back. So maybe knees bent, feet flat on the floor, maybe even feet wide and knees together. And then just let yourself kind of settle into the support of the blocks or the blanket underneath your upper back. And find a lot of space for your breath to come in and out of your nose. So just breathe in and out of your nose and let your body settle. And then as you're ready, you can find some movement. Just make some snow angels with your arms. You've got the blanket underneath you. You can just swing your arms out and around. If you've got the blocks underneath you, your hands can float up off the floor. There's no right or wrong here. Just really find some intuitive movement, just kind of flossing through your shoulders, and feeling your upper back. And it may feel good to maybe pause with arms out or overhead. And then reach your fingers straight up toward the ceiling. And then open your arms wide like bird wings. And then just give yourself a hug, cross elbows, and just reach for your shoulder blades. And we'll just do that a few times, just switching the cross of your elbows. Just open and then cross the other way. Let's do one more breath there. And then release, just roll off of your props and move either your blanket, your blocks out of the way. And we'll come down onto our backs. Just flat on your backs, knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and we'll just do some dynamic bridge movement here. So let's just start by really sequentially lifting our spine. So really tuck your tailbone up and push your lower back into the floor. And then lift your pelvis and see if you can lift your vertebrae one at a time. So you'll probably need to engage through your glutes. Come up slowly and pause. And then see if you can lower down one vertebrae at a time. We'll just do 3 really slow bridges here. When you get to that lower back, you're really going to need to lift your glutes up to push your lower back down before your pelvis comes down. And then you can just find a neutral curve when you get to the bottom. And then start again. Really push your lower back into the floor to lift your tailbone first. And then lift those lower back vertebrae one at a time. And then lift your mid and upper back. Pause at the top. And then just make your way down one vertebrae at a time. We'll do one last. Go ahead and lower down. And just take your feet as wide as your mat windshield wiper. Just kind of find some internal, external rotation of your legs. And then come to center. Just cross your right ankle over your left. Energetically push that right knee away from you. Flex through that right foot. And then hover your left foot up off the floor, but we're not going to grab anything. We're just going to let this be active. Flex through both feet. And just draw that left knee in towards your chest as you cross that right ankle over. And then release your left foot down, and we'll just take our right leg into a half happy baby pose. Draw that right knee outside of your rib cage, kind of resist foot into hand, hand into foot. And then lengthen your right leg up. You can interlace fingers behind your thigh and find some ankle circles here. Find a neutral spine, so find a little slight curve underneath your lower back. And then release your hands. Just keep that left foot flat on the floor. We're just going to lengthen right heel to hover and then lift a couple of times. Well, 3, so a few. And then this last time your leg comes up, you can grab onto that leg maybe a little higher. Maybe you grab a strap. Maybe you just hold on to your calf. Maybe peace fingers reach for your big toe if that feels available. But just breathe a big stretch into the back of that right leg. Maybe lengthen your left leg on the floor. And then we're going to turn the right toes slightly to the right and open that right leg out to the right. So you could be holding onto your leg or holding onto your foot. But keep that left hip grounded. You're not rocking. You're just opening that leg out. And then come back through center and we'll find a twist. So you can bend into your knee and just use your left hand outside that right leg, or you can grab onto your outer calf or outer foot and let that left leg drop over to the, right leg drop over to the left. And just twist. Bend your knee as much as you need to. And then come back up through center. Bend that right knee to the floor and then cross your left ankle over that right knee. Flex through that right foot and really push that right knee away from you. You can float your right foot up off the floor. Maybe rock a little bit, but let this be active if we're not going to grab that right leg. And just draw that right knee in towards your chest as you kind of resist that left one away. And then right foot to the floor, find half happy baby on this side. Just grab that outer left foot. And then lengthen your leg, grab onto the back of your thigh, find those ankle circles on this side. And then from here, just lengthen that heel to hover over the floor and then lift it back up 3 times. And this time you can hold onto that leg maybe a little higher, maybe around your calf, maybe your foot, maybe a strap. Find those natural curves of your spine. If you've got a little space under your lower back, you can straighten that right leg. And then just breathe. This will be kind of the slow, calm part of our practice before we get up and really move. Open that left leg out to the left. Just turn your toes slightly to the left and then let that leg go to the left, but you're going to keep your right hip grounded so you're not rocking. And back up to center. You can bend your knee or keep that leg kind of straight. That right hand to the outer left leg, anywhere from your knee to your foot. You can look to your left. And bend that left knee as much as you need to. And then come back up to center. Just hug both knees into your chest and rock forward and back. We'll meet in a table. So you can come up and back a couple of times. And then maybe cross your ankles as you come up and then come to your hands and knees. And plant your hands and then just find some circles to circle around your hands, one direction and then the other. And then just find little bends in your elbows and then come up and switch the position of your hands. And you can even come on the pinky edge of your hands, maybe come down on your fists. You can even use some kind of buoyancy through your arms to push the floor away. But just kind of start to get into your wrists and your shoulders and your elbows in all different directions. Just kind of teach your body that you can have load in all different ways. You can try the thumb edge of your hands, pinky edge, fists, and let your fists point in different directions. And then go ahead and find your table. We're going to tuck our toes and just hover knees up off the floor. And feel that engagement through your core and feel strong through your hands. And just notice where you feel the most support. And then let your knees come down and push back into a child's pose. And let your forehead come to the floor and then really flex your wrists. Fingers pull back towards your shoulders. And then come back up onto your hands and knees and lift your palms. We'll just do that a couple of times. Hips to heels, lift your fingers. Back to table, lift your palms. One last time there. And then we'll make our way into a downward facing dog. Lift your hips and then pedal your feet out here. Bring your weight into your left foot, just bend through your right knee, and then you can just kind of find some ankle circles here with a little bit of a load and squishing through your toes. And then kind of lengthen back into your downward facing dog. Take your right heel in and turn the toes out. So you're kind of got your foot set up like you would for a warrior one, and then straighten through your right leg and bend through your left knee and push back so you get a nice stretch through that outer right leg. I mean, you don't have to lock that right leg straight, but Just push through that outer right hip. And then we'll switch. So bend into your right knee. Actually straighten into your right leg. Bend into your left knee and find your ankle circles there with that left foot. Squishing your toes, like get all those pops and cracks out of your toes there. And then ground that left foot like you would for a warrior one. So heel in, toes angled out, and then bend into your right knee and push back through your left outer hip. And then just square off your feet, find a symmetrical downward facing dog, look forward and just take a walk up to the top of your mat. In a standing forward fold, soften through your knees. And then interlace your fingers here, really soften through your knees and roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time till your hands come to the level of your heart. And then bend into your knees, push your palms away, round through your upper spine, and then inhale, straighten up, reach your palms up toward the ceiling, soften your lower ribs in. Exhale and find a side bend over to your right. Really push out through that left palm. Inhale through center and exhale over through to your left. Push out through that right palm. Inhale through center and then exhale. Interlace your hands behind your back. Soften your knees and open your heart here. Bend through your legs, fold forward and open your shoulders any amount here. Release your hands to the floor. Inhale, step your left foot back into a lunge. Exhale, left knee down. And then inhale, reach your arms high. And just pause here in this low lunge. Engage through that left hip and left glute as you reach up. And then exhale, hands to the floor to frame that right foot. You can be on blocks or fingertips, and we'll just bend and straighten that right knee. So bend and straighten any amount. You can walk your hands back. Let yourself really feel the integrity in your spine. And just fluidly kind of warm up through those hamstrings. Bend and straighten. Next time you bend, lift your back knee and ground that heel. We'll turn into a goddess squat facing the long edge of your mat. So you'll kind of turn to your left, heels in, toes out, and sit down into a high squat. And I'll turn around so I'm facing you. Bring your hands to your thighs and then just drop one shoulder in and then the other. And just back and forth. Drop one shoulder and then the other. One more time. And then come on upright, reach your arms forward, just hold. Spread your knees apart. See if you can stack your shoulders over your hips. Draw your lower belly in. And then stand up straight. Parallel your feet. Just bring your hands to your hips. Squeeze a beach ball behind your back. Lead with your heart. And let yourself fold and then soften into your knees. And just round yourself all the way up. And just let this be fluid here. So have soft knees as you fold, and then really soften your knees to roll yourself up. Let's do that one more time. And then just turn those right toes back to the right. Frame that right foot with your hands. Step back into a plank. And you can go through your vinyasa here. So maybe this first round, just bring your knees down, push back into a child's pose. You can always lower into a chaturanga or lower to your belly. Inhale, we'll come onto our bellies, lift our hearts, draw your shoulder blades together, find a cobra. Exhale, Downward facing dog. Pedal it out here, whatever you need. Find stillness for a breath and just keep breathing in and out of your nose. Take a walk to the top of your mat with your breath in. Look forward. Exhale, fold. Soften into your knees. Interlace your fingers. See if you can do it the unusual way this time. Roll yourself up. Bring your hands to the level of your heart. Soften your knees. Push your palms away. Inhale and reach high. And then exhale. This time, side bend over to your left. Push through that right palm. Inhale through center. Exhale over to your right. Really push through that left palm. Push into your left heel. Inhale through center. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back the unusual way. Open your heart. And then soften into your knees to bow. Let your head hang. Let your shoulders open. Release your hands. Step your right foot back into a lunge. Bring that knee down. And then reach your arms high. Engage through that right glute. Let yourself feel open through that right hip. And then exhale. Hands can come onto blocks or fingertips. And we'll just bend and straighten that front leg. So this fluid, dynamic movement can just kind of help ease us into an opening. After I've been sitting in a car for 4 days straight, I'm super stiff. Let's straighten and bend one more time. Next time you come to that bent knee, lift your back heel, ground your back heel, and find your goddess pose again. So again, I'm going to turn around so I'm facing you. And this time we'll kind of find some swimming with our arms. So we'll find kind of a side angle pose. So right forearm on right thigh, reach your left arm alongside your ear, and then just let that left arm swim over to your left thigh and reach your right arm up. And we're just going to go back and forth here. Just back and forth. Really push those knees away from each other. Let's go one more time to the right and to the left. And then reach both arms up and then straighten your legs. Parallel your feet, squeeze that beach ball behind your back. Lead with your heart to fold and then soften your knees to round up. Do that kind of pulsing wave. One more time. And then this time you can let yourself hold your forward fold. Bring your hands to the floor or to blocks. Experiment with really lifting all your toes, lifting up through your arches. Ground through your big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound, center of your heel. Push your inner groin back. And see if you can move your pelvis here. Maybe sway it from side to side. Maybe a little bit of front and back movement like a cat and cow in your pelvis. And then soften into your knees, roll yourself back up. Turn your left toes to the left. Frame that foot with your hands, come back through your plank. And then your mode of transportation to downward facing dog. Maybe lower all the way to your belly, maybe into child's pose. Lift your heart into a cobra or an upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Just 2 breaths here. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, make your way up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Interlace your fingers, soften your knees. Inhale, roll yourself up with your hands, come to the level of your heart. Soften into your knees, push your palms away, round your upper spine. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, side bend over to your right this time. Push into that left heel, reach through your left palm. Come through center. Exhale, over to your left. Push into that right heel, reach through that right palm. Inhale through center. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Open your heart. And then bow. Soften your knees. You can let your belly come in contact with your thighs. Release your hands. And step your left foot back into a high lunge this time. And we'll just bend and straighten that front knee. So you can come up on blocks. Keep your back heel lifted. So all 10 of your toes are just pointing toward the short edge of your mat. So just kind of the same thing we did, just this time our back knee is lifted. And just bend and straighten. Next time your leg gets straight, we're going to ground your left heel. So rotate that left heel in, and we'll open into triangle pose. So you might keep those right fingers on the floor outside that right heel, or bring your hand up onto your shin. Find the place where you feel like you have freedom through your pelvis and length through your spine, so you're not really crunching yourself. And just enjoy this big stretch, wide open. And take one more breath in your triangle. And then we're going to rotate and bring left hand to the floor. Lift your left heel. Rotate onto the pinky edge of that left foot. Okay, turn your right toes to the right and just find a big twist here. And then drop that left hip toward the floor. Reach, point those fingers toward that back heel. And then lift back up. Maybe arm alongside your ear. And just kind of get into your hips here. Let's do one more drop of that left hip toward the floor. And then come on up. Swim your hands forward. Step back into your plank. Exhale, child's pose, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Maybe float your hands up off the floor to engage that back body before you reset and find your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shake your head no, nod your head yes. Find stillness for a breath. And then come onto your tippy toes, make your way up to the top of your mat. Soften into your knees, interlace your fingers the unusual way. Roll yourself up. Hands to the level of your heart. Soften your knees, push your palms away. Inhale, reach high. Exhale to the left this time. Really push into your right heel and out through that right palm. Come through center. Push into your left heel. Reach out through your left palm. Come through center. Exhale to interlace your fingers the unusual way behind your back. Open your heart. And then soften your knees to fold. Release your hands. Step that right foot back into a high lunge. And we'll just do that modified Parsvottanasana pyramid pose. Back heel is lifted, and we're just going to bend and straighten that left leg. Connect it to your breath in a way that just feels really natural and intuitive. See if you can find some real intelligent pushing into that left big toe ball mound as you straighten that leg. And next time your leg gets straight, ground your right heel. So just rotate it down and set up for your triangle pose. Maybe left fingertips stay on the floor outside your left foot. Maybe they float up. So we want to feel freedom in the pelvis here and length through your spine. Maybe gaze goes up toward that top hand. And then rotate. Right hand down, lift that back heel, turn your left toes to the left. And then come onto the pinky edge of that right foot. I'm gonna drop that right hip toward the floor and then lift it up, maybe lengthen left arm alongside your ear. And drop. And lift. And drop. And lift. Let's do that one last time. Reach up, swim your hands down, step back into your plank. Child's pose, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Find that engagement in your back body. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just breathe. Find some length there. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, make your way to the top of your mat. We're gonna go through that last flow again, a little quicker. Soften into your knees, interlace your fingers. Inhale, roll hands to the level of your heart. Exhale, bend your knees, push your palms away. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale through center. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale through center. Exhale, interlace your fingers. Inhale to open your heart. Soften through your knees and bow. Release your hands. Inhale, look forward. And exhale to fold. Inhale, left foot steps back into that high lunge. Keep your heel lifted. And with your breath, just bend to that front knee and straighten it. Bend into your front knee and straighten it. Last time, bend into that front knee and then straighten that front leg. Rotate that left heel down and open yourself up into your triangle pose. Hand on the floor, it can float up to your shin. Exhale, left hand down, rock onto the pinky edge of that left foot. Reach your right arm up. You can stay here, or you can bring that right foot in front of your left foot or on top and find a side plank. And then exhale, right hand down. Really feel the support in your hands. Pretend they're like feet and you've got those arches. And then move through your vinyasa. Child's pose, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Engage that back body. Inhale into your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And inhale to the top of your mat. Exhale to fold. Just find that interlacing of your fingers the unusual way. Soften into your knees, roll up, hands to your heart. Soften your knees and push your palms away. Inhale to reach high. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale through center. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale through center. Exhale, hands behind you. Clasp the unusual way. Inhale, open your heart. Bend into your knees and dive forward. Your belly can come in contact with your thighs. Let your head hang. Release your hands. Right foot back into that high lunge. And with your breath, just straighten and bend that front knee. Any amount. And last, exhale, straighten through that left leg. Rotate your right heel down. Peel that right arm up into your triangle pose. And find some length, find some feedback from that right heel out through the crown of your head. And then exhale, right hand down. I'm gonna rotate onto the pinky edge of that right foot. Left toes turn to the left. You keep your left foot here. You can stack it in front of your right foot or on top. And then left hand down. Last time through vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, child's pose, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then just bend your knees, cross your ankles behind you, push yourself back to a seat. And lengthen your right leg. Just bring that left foot to your right inner thigh for Janu Shirshasana. And we'll just kind of find a wave here. So my pants and mat seem like the same color, but I'm going to bend my knee, flex through my foot, and pull, like use the back of my leg to pull my heart forward, and then push through my heel to bring my leg towards straight to make myself come upright. So just move with your breath there. Kind of floss through that right leg. And the next time you come forward, you can stay there and then push your heel away to find it, that leg as straight as it wants to go. I'm going to bring my left hand outside of that right foot. You can bring it outside of your calf. I'm going to find a little bit of a twist, pushing around my right hand kind of back, reaching heart forward and folding here. And then come on up. Take your left knee straight up and push your foot into the floor. Lean back onto your hands and cross that right ankle over your left foot. You can stay here, maybe walk your hands in closer to your bum, maybe walk your foot in closer. This is option number one, just kind of to have this seated figure four. Or you can move into fire log pose and bring your left shin down, right shin stacked on top. Okay. And just flex through both feet. So either way, either here or here. Just do what's friendly for that right hip. And if you've got your shin stacked, you might want to find a forward fold. Any amount, stay active through your foot. And breathe. And come on up. Lean back. Just take your feet to the floor. Let them be kind of wide and just windshield wiper. Legs from side to side. And then we'll do the other side. So left leg long, right foot to your left inner thigh. And then find a bend in that knee as you pull that heel back and use that to pull your heart forward. And then push your heel away to straighten that leg and come back up. And just let your spine and your whole length of your back body just find that waving movement. Here. And next time you come forward, you can stay here and then push your heel away to bring that leg as straight as it wants to. Right hand outside of maybe that right outer knee, calf, ankle, or foot. The left hand kind of reaches back and use some leverage to bring yourself into a twist. And draw that right lower belly toward your left inner thigh. Inhale yourself up. Right knee straight up toward the ceiling. And then take your left ankle and cross it over that right knee. Just prop yourself up on your hands. Draw your shoulder blades together. Let your spine be long. And then just greet your hip. Maybe heel comes closer to your bum. Maybe hands come closer. Spine gets taller. Flex through that left foot. You can stay here, or you can find those stacked shins. Left shin stacked on top of your right, flexing through both feet. So either way, if you're here, you might want to find a forward fold. Let this be really friendly for the back of your pelvis and that left outer hip. Breathe into those tissues, but we don't want to overstretch. So we want to find that balance between strength and support around that whole hip joint and the mobility of being able to move. Go ahead and come on up. Uncross your legs, find those windshield wipers again. And then we'll make our way onto our back. Set yourself up for a bridge pose. Feet hip distance apart. Wiggle those shoulder blades together. Push into your heels to lift your hips and find some engagement of the backs of your legs, like you're dragging your heels toward your shoulders. And you can just pause here. If Urdhva Dhanurasana full wheel is part of your practice and your body's really craving that right now, go for it. Just plant your hands by your shoulders and then push yourself up. That's a bit much for my body today. I'm just gonna hold my bridge. And wherever you are, make your way down. If you're in your wheel, just tuck your chin, the back of your head to the floor. Everyone gently lower down. And let your feet go as wide as your mat, knees knocked together. Just bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly for a couple of breaths. And then release. Just hug your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. And cross your right leg all the way over your left leg and just hug those crossed knees into your chest. And then push your tailbone toward the floor. Maybe you reach for ankles. And release your hands out to a T, arms out to a T. And just drop your cross legs over to the left. And look to your right. Let's find that nice twist here. And then come back to center. And cross your legs, hug your knees into your chest. And then the left leg all the way over the right leg. So like a polite lady sitting in a chair, hug your crossed knees into your chest. You might work your hands towards your ankles. Just keep your feet flexed and push your tailbone toward the floor. And then release, arms out to a T. You can drop your knees over to the right, look to the left. Back to center. Uncross your legs. One last happy baby pose. And then find any final movements your body's craving before you make your way to your final rest or a seated meditation if that feels more appropriate for you today, depending on the time of day and what you need. Wherever you are, feel all the places connected with the floor and just let those places spread. Let your spine feel supported and aligned and your face soft. You might rock your head from side to side. And then let those rocks get smaller and smaller and smaller till your head is perfectly balanced on its center. And then totally let your jaw relax with your lips closed. Let the tip of your tongue just gently rest behind your top front teeth. And let your breath come in and out of your nose. Your teeth can just slightly touch so that you have a lot of space through the back of your throat as your breath comes in and out of your nose in a really easy, natural way. We've been talking about the wisdom, intuitive personality body. I just want to read a couple of quotes from this mind-blowing book called The Autobiography of a Yogi. So I'll just read a couple. Intuition is soul guidance, appearing naturally in man during those instants when his mind is calm. Nearly everyone has had the experience of an inexplicably correct hunch or has transferred his thoughts accurately to another person. The human mind, freed from the disturbances or static of restlessness, is empowered to perform all the functions of complicated radio mechanisms, sending as well as receiving thoughts and tuning out undesirable ones. The effectiveness of a human radio depends on the degree of willpower possessed by each person. But that it's when our mind is calm that we're receptive to that voice of intuition. The very heavens seek to arouse man's determination to be free from every limitation. God created each man as a soul, dowered with individuality, hence essential to the universal structure. That your individuality is essential to the universal structure. It can't function without your uniqueness. That was added. His freedom is final and immediate if he so wills. It depends not on outer, but inner victories. that voice of intuition, your connection with the Holy Ghost, that Holy Spirit, can be magnified by stillness. And it is unique in the way that your intuition, that wisdom body of yours, works. But it's essential to the fabric of the universe. But it's not mastery of your outer experience, but mastery of your inner world that really helps you find that unique inner compass. And that connection with the divine. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.